Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of Ryan, Coop, and the Doc. I'm here with my two buddies, Arizona sports legend, Bruce Cooper, Arizona dental legend, Dr. Ken Snyder. Gentlemen, we are in a wild season of Arizona sports. We got baseball going on. We have basketball news a month before the season begins. The Arizona Cardinals are ramping up. Coyotes are coming back. Coop, this must be your heaven.
Hey, let me tell you something. This, without a doubt, is the busiest time of the year if you're in the sports media world. I mean, like you just talked about, everything's going on. We haven't even talked about the collegiate game with ASU and their sports there. So yeah, this is the busiest time of year. And of course, there's some seasons when the Diamondbacks actually were postseason participants that ramped it up even more. But here lately, we won't talk about that.
We'll skip that. But I'm excited about some of these young guys. They seem to have good direction and leadership. But leadership has been a topic here in Arizona sports. And Coop, I know you got all sorts of ideas and thoughts, but what are you seeing about Arizona sports leadership?
Well, look, I thought the attacks against Kyler Murray and his leadership of the Cardinals were a little unwarranted given his age. Given his age and stuff like that, because if we're being real, we all mature at different levels. Now, my thing with Kyler Murray is that, and the reason why I was giving him a pass, I said, look, this man has known nothing but success his entire life. That's true. I mean, coming from Pop Warner in high school where he never lost, playing on the biggest stage in Texas high school sports, was a 3-time state champion there. And then he goes on to college. And lo and behold, he is the Heisman Trophy winner. Mm-hmm. He's the first overall pick in the NFL, and that same season, he's the 9th overall pick, but a first-round pick of the Oakland A's in baseball. So the man's known nothing but success. So he's experiencing his first bit of frustration and failure with the Cardinals, and he didn't handle it well. But I said this: he has 2 great parents, some great coaches, and teammates. They will get him straightened around. I think that's what we're looking at, Ryan. I think that's what we're seeing.
And Doc, we move from the football field to the basketball court, and boy, I think we're all happy about the leadership that Monty Williams and James Jones bring to the Phoenix Suns. But now we're talking about leadership from an ownership perspective, and we're potentially looking at a new owner for the Suns. What do transitions like that, whether you're in business or sports, what do they mean for the team and the product that goes out to play?
Well, I think if the team and the rest of the staff perceive there's a problem with leadership, I think it's actually inspiring that you're going to have a new leader come in. Now, at this point in time, we don't know who that is, but I'm pretty sure the minority partners are going to be pretty careful about who they bring in, not only from a business standpoint and morale standpoint, but I think also from a publicity standpoint. I think the Suns are going to come out on the other side of the tunnel actually better off. That's my own opinion.
Cool.
Well, look, there are people who've been victimized in this. That's kind of what's kind of been lost in this whole thing right now, because everyone's talking about their elation in losing Robert Sarver as an owner. I mean, look, he was the most vilified owner here. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, and to see that he wanted to remain as owner of the Phoenix Suns, but all the public pressure, I mean, from sponsors, from players, and from the media. I mean, no one wanted this guy's name attached to the NBA. I mean, you had big stars like LeBron coming out. I mean, it was going to continue. I mean, can you imagine what was going to take place when the Phoenix Suns actually showed up for Media Day and showed up for their game? Those questions were going to persist. So I applaud Robert Sarver for reading the room, understanding that this is not getting any better. It's time to cut my losses. But in cutting his losses, he'll probably be a billionaire, you know.
Yeah.
But
What a loss.
it was time. It was time for the Suns to look at new leadership. I mean, a lot of people were pointing to, well, I don't see the difference between what Donald Sterling, the ex-owner of the LA Clippers, and Robert Sarver. Matter of fact, some thought Sarver was even worse because his was over a prolonged period of time. So the fact that the Suns will have new leadership, I think, is exciting for the entire Suns fan base.
Let me ask you this. You know, it was a media, like you said, the media was involved, and of course the victims were involved. Do you think the straw that broke the camel's back were the sponsors starting to leave?
Hey, let me tell you something. You're absolutely right. Look, the NBA, once you show that you're going to affect or hurt their bottom line, no, that's not going to happen. If Robert Sarver didn't voluntarily decide to sell, the NBA owners, they were going to put to vote, and you only need 3/4 of the votes, of the ownership to effectively get them out. That would have taken place. You cannot affect their bottom line. And sponsorship, I mean, hey, look, PayPal was the first, but there were so many others that were threatening to do so. So, look, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that we're fortunate and that I know we all are grateful for every day is the great leadership, not only at St. Vincent de Paul here with Steve and Shannon, but with the leadership in our community that supports this mission just wholeheartedly and enthusiastically. And we're really, really excited to introduce you to one of those leaders right now.
It's my pleasure to introduce a very special guest on today's show, Barb Koju. She's head of the fundraising for Delta Dental Foundation. Barb and I, we go way back. We've been on many shows together. Wow, it's always been a pleasure. I've always enjoyed teaming up with you. Tell us a little bit about, a little bird told me this, okay? I think he was flying around the warehouse here, that you got inspired to get into philanthropy by your dentist back in Joliet. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So back in the day I had healthy teeth, but cavities, as back in the 70s kids did. And I was in my dentist chair a lot. He was trying to spread my palate before palate spreaders that they have today. So every week I would go in and get this makeshift appliance adjusted. I was in there every week, and I would set up trays for him. I started to become a staff member kind of, and setting things up. And I just loved it, and I loved that they treated me as a grown-up. Wow. And I was probably 12 years old doing this, and for weeks, and every time I came in, and I said, I like to do that. I think it's really neat what they do. And then as I got into college, I was like, I kind of like sports better. So I got more into sports, and then I got into fundraising, and I got into philanthropy work, working for charities, and then I would go and work for a sports team, and then I would go back and work for the philanthropy, and back and forth. And I've been here at Delta Dental for 9 years now. Wow.
Yeah. And I know the sports teams. You were with the Chicago White Sox, right? The Coyotes, and Frank Thomas.
And then I started here back in college. I started with the Phoenix Firebirds, the AAA for the Giants.
Oh, sure. I remember. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what brought you to... I'm sorry, Coop.
1 second, Doc. I mean, I was really intrigued that she worked with the Coyotes. And we know that hockey players, they need great dentists, without a doubt. Well, how many of those players did you see, your team see on a frequent basis, or just have to make sure that they had the proper coverage or whatever for that?
We had team dentists that were at all the games.
Rick Langren, who was a
Really?
good friend of mine, he was the Coyotes team dentist for many years, yeah.
So if something happens, they have an operatory back in the arena, and they're taken care of immediately if something happens.
Stitch them up, take the tooth out, whatever they have to do. Yeah, there's.
Wow, that's exciting.
And get them back out on the ice.
Yes.
That's the amazing.
and they're happy to do it. The players are happy to get out on the ice. So.
One time I think that was a badge of honor before they had mouth guards, and if you were a hockey player, you had no front teeth.
Oh,
That was-
absolutely.
A lot of flippers there, yes.
What's kept you with Delta Dental? I mean, talk to me about that.
So Delta Dental, I've been there the longest I've been anywhere in my career because I feel like the work that we're doing, it's so important to the community that we're in. And partnering with St. Vincent de Paul, you are helping us fulfill our mission. You're one of our best partners in fulfilling our mission moving forward, and we want to be involved with the work that you're doing as far as to help you do more in the community. Because
You're one of our best partners. In fact, you folks were all down here, the whole team in Mass, a couple weeks ago doing dental screenings on children after hours so we can identify kids and get them into the clinic.
our
Yes.
board members and our employees came down. We did an event called CEO Serve, where our CEO and board members and all of our, not all of them, but many of them came down. I think we had 37 volunteers that day, and
Yeah,
about
it was-
10 of them were in the clinic getting kids screened, varnished, and hopefully if they had any anything in their mouth that needed to be taken care of, that they were making appointments to do that and getting a dental home, which is so important to have a dental home to go consistently.
Wow, that is just unbelievable to hear about. But here you are with us right now. What can you share with us one of the more impacting stories in your life relative to your philanthropy?
To be honest, the one that pops right into my head is what here at that CEO Serve event. It seems like she was a newer client of St. Vincent de Paul, and she was very uncomfortable with people helping. And she came up to us, and she had a little daughter who was maybe 6 or 7, and it was very important for her to tell us, I normally don't need help. I normally do this by myself, but right now I can't, and I appreciate your being able to help us at this time. And it's not going to be it's not going to be for a long time. We're going to get on our feet. She was very, but you're helping us now, and I'm getting emotional because she was so emotional about it, and how much she appreciates your help, and we were there helping, and she was thanking us.
And I'm
so.
getting emotional because I know how much you care.
Yeah.
And it, like I say, that you mentioned the Wall of Smiles upstairs. That's because of Barb and Delta Dental. Those people up there are up there because of Barb, and they've been unbelievable partners for many, many years.
I think we're a good team, Doc.
We are, Barb. You know that? We are, for sure. Is there any parting thoughts you'd like to talk to our viewers about, or is there a way they can get involved with Delta Dental as far as, I know you have a whole cadre of dentists that you have that are associated with Delta Dental, and say someone out there wants to explore possibilities with Delta Dental, what would you recommend for them?
Well, we do focus mostly on volunteering with our employees. Activity-wise, we do promote a lot of the grantees that we work with. St. Vincent de Paul, we focus on some of our other large grantees that need volunteer help, and you can always call our office. SB or I are happy to talk to anybody and connect you with any oral health programs. There's a lot of sealant programs we work with. Team Smile we just did last week at an elementary school in Tempe. Saw 280 students, partnered with the Coyotes, partnered with Midwestern and ATSU to get students in there. West Mech is another hygiene school. We worked with the Coyotes, put all this together with Team Smile, and we were able to fund it so we could see there were 280 children that either received screenings they all received screenings and varnish, some received restorative care, and it was packed all day long. It was a huge success with volunteers and with the children who were able to attend. The other thing we work with is dentists in the community. If there's any dentists who want to participate in any of the activities, we would love to speak with them. Give us a call or give Doc a call. Doc
Yeah,
likes
we'll get you
dentists.
lined up. And there's a special program you have for women who have been incarcerated. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Because I think that means everything to them.
So Televerde is a group that works with women who are incarcerated. They work with them in the locations that they're held. They train them while they're incarcerated, and then when they come out, they work with them to get jobs. So a lot of them are coming out of these situations with issues with their teeth, no teeth, poor oral hygiene, and we were able.
Women.
A lot of battered women who've lost teeth due to violence.
Yeah.
So we partnered with St. Vincent de Paul. St. Vincent de Paul is doing the oral health care. They're taking 2 to 4 women a month and putting them through whatever care that they need, and we're funding the supply or the lab fee, all the lab fees for the women. So there's no cost to St. Vincent de Paul to take on these extra.
If you come out of incarceration and you want to get on the right track, you need a job. And it's, we always talk about the health impact, we talk about the social impact, the self-esteem impact of getting your smile restored. But to me, one of the main things is the economic impact. What a person can earn with a nice smile versus what they can earn when their teeth are missing or whatever over a period of 25 to 30 years in the workforce. It's huge. It's huge. Yeah. So God bless you.
No, we can't do what our mission without your help.
Well, we're partners for sure.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
I've known Barb for probably 10 or 15 years, and she's the real deal. And what a great story of how she got started and got involved and inspired to help those less fortunate. So we are so lucky to be partnered with Delta Dental, and it's been a godsend to our dental clinic.
Yeah, we have a lot of great partners. They're certainly one of the most consistent, one of the most involved, one of the most important to making sure that we continue to provide great oral health for people in need. And so, we're just really grateful for Barb and Michael and the team over at Delta Dental. And one thing they allow us to do is they allow us to take on more patients in those dental chairs. And I know that this is the reason that all three of us really come together to do this show. It's to make sure that we can take care of folks who have just walked into the clinic and who need your help through Adopt a Patient.
The community we serve, the need is tremendous. We see a lot of homeless, a lot of veterans, a lot of children. We see a lot of what we call the working poor. I mean, they're trying to make it, but dentistry and medicine is very expensive. It's easy sometimes to tell people, hey, by the way, I'm sorry, this is way beyond what we can do. Where do they go?
When I wanted to smile, to talk to people, I was ashamed, covering my mouth, because sometimes the kids were like, what happened? It hurts, like I'm sensitive.
I would say here, within a month, I will see more severely medically compromised patients than you would see in 5 years in private practice. I mean, we see people who have had heart surgeries, we see people who have undergone cancer treatments. This is a daily occurrence here.
There are very few organizations in the Phoenix area that do as much good work as does St. Vincent de Paul. They're not doing it right for their own notoriety. They're doing it right because the people that need it are benefiting. These people really care. If you can go to that clinic, go to that facility, and not walk out of there with a changed heart, then you don't have a heart.
I don't have another possibility in another place because it's too expensive for us. But with the St. Vincent de Paul clinic, it was possible, and for me, it's a miracle. To all the doctors, I'm very grateful for all the help.
It's had a tremendous impact in many ways. First of all, on all the students and all the residents that come here. Many will say this was the best experience they had. We've pretty much trained all the staff members that are here. They're trained in orthodontics, they're trained in oral surgery, they're trained in implants, probably some of the best trained dental assistants in the state.
We're a family. This is my second house, so this is where I spend most of my hours. Every day or on the weekends, I'm looking forward to come to work. I'm happy to come here. When I graduate dental school, this is where I want to come to work.
It also has an impact, in the oral health of the people of this community, that they know that there's a place where they can come and receive treatment.
The team that treated me, they always were so kind, and they wanted to see everything on my mouth, like if I have cavities, if I have a root canal that has to be fixed. And they told me that I can have the braces, and they put it on, and now I got them off and I have a beautiful smile. So I'm so happy.
With the expansion, they're going to go from 8 dental operatories to about 16. So they'll be able to go from serving 6,000 patients a year to 10,000 patients a year. And most of those will be new patients. So when we had the opportunity to live our mission through St. Vincent de Paul, this is a perfect fit.
Without people like Delta Dental, this clinic wouldn't exist. I've been at this for 23 years, and I honestly feel with this expansion, we're just on the launch pad. In the types of procedures that we can offer patients, in the training that we do with students and residents. It's hard to work with people who have so little every day and not feel their pain or anxiety about life. But on the ride home that night, you think, there's nowhere else I would have rather been today than here helping these people. Miracles happen here every day. It's amazing how volunteers and students will come here and they'll say, I came here to help change people's lives. And they say, my life changed the most. What an inspiring video. And like you said, Ryan, they've been an unbelievable partner, and it's evident how much they mean to this community, to the oral health of the people who cannot afford dentistry in this community. And we are just so lucky to have them as partners all these many years.
Yeah. I just wish there was a way that we could showcase your wall of fame up there, if you will. I mean, if you looked at the before, the dental work was performed on patients, and the after, when the work was completed, I mean, we're talking as stark as night is today. It's unbelievable. Great job that you guys did.
Life-changing and transformational.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great
Definitely
work,
is,
great
yeah.
work.
You know what else is life-changing? When Bruce Cooper gets Ryan's riddle. And it's in real time, and you know what? He got one last week. I think we're gonna get him this week, though.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't happen often, folks, but yeah, I did nail one. Okay.
Well, let's remind everyone what it is.
Okay.
The riddle was, what is 3 feet but no legs? And your answer was, do you even remember?
3 feet and no legs?
Yeah, we're just gonna
I
tell.
got it right?
You got it right. It was a yardstick.
Oh,
You remember that now? Yeah. We could just tell the same. We could do the same riddle every week.
I'm calling timeout for a measurement.
I don't think Coop would remember if we did the same one
How
each
about
week.
that?
So now
Okay.
we're moving into a new one.
Okay.
Bruce Cooper, we're filming a little earlier today
Okay.
than normal. Do you think you're ready?
So the brain might not be flowing just right, huh?
Yeah.
Let's test it out. Let's test this out.
All right. Why did the large cat get kicked out of the game?
The large cat get kicked out of the game?
Well, we're talking about leaders moving on. I thought this was a good one.
Well, are we talking a guy that plays a game that they just use that as like a characterization? Oh, that dude or that cat got
You
kicked?
mean like the big cat?
I guess we can say that too. Yeah. It might have, so, or is it a real cat? You can't. Is it a real cat or is it just a play on words?
It's both, I guess.
Why did the cat get kicked out of the game? Why did the cat
Hey,
get kicked
so
out of the
while
game?
we're waiting for Coop to noodle this, if you have the answer, we got some fresh. I don't know. Do you got one on? We got some fresh new St. Vincent de Paul hats. And if you get this answer, email us rcd@svdpaz.org. Oh, I think our producer here is going to try and
Hey, I got one now.
look at this. I want to tell you why this one's important. This one is the limited edition SZ25 hat. Steve Zabilski, 25 years. I guess you could call him the big cat or the big dog or whatever your. Did you know we have a animal program here at St. Vincent de Paul, Bruce Cooper?
Well, I'm still trying to nail this thing. Okay,
But
I'm thinking of words like purr and paw. You know,
You're kind of going down the.
I got to put in a plug for my hat. This is the KS hat, 26 years.
That doesn't exist. That was.
a game for.
But
I've had this hat for 26 years.
But between Steve and Doc Snyder, we got over 50 years of jokes like that around St. Vincent de Paul.
I give up.
Okay,
I can't figure.
we're going
it
to tell you the answer next time we're with you. We're going to make Bruce Cooper think about this for a whole 2 weeks in between shows.
And that's a complete outrage, people. I mean, absolutely. See, that's what drives me crazy about these riddles. I mean, it doesn't allow me to get good sleep at night. I mean, honestly, it's an outrage. I'm not a fan of Ryan's riddles. I'll just let you know that.
I don't know. I don't know what takes longer to come to the show, the answer to the riddle, or Doc's mailbag to get here. But begrudgingly, here we are. It's another opportunity for Doc's mailbag.
Okay, the mailbag has arrived, so you're right. Faster than Coop's answer to the riddle. Let's see what we got today. Yeah, I think so.
Let's see if all of our loyal viewers have stopped trying to mess with me with these questions.
Bill M. writes, Dear Doc, how can we access the clinic, those of us that need help? Wow, that's a good question.
Good question.
You know, yeah. Well, Bill, I'm glad you asked that question. So we are a true charity clinic, and we are a children's clinic, first of all. Children can come to the clinic age 3 on up, and they can we are at what we call a dental home for children, as deemed by the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry. And so children can come in age 3 on up, and they can continually come back for recall. We are their family dentist, so to speak. With the adults, it's a little different. And so with the adults, we have a lottery. And so each month, we take so many of the names out of the lottery, and it's strictly done at random. There's no favoritism whatsoever. And as we finish patients from the month before, we can bring on that many new patients. Now, what we do with the adult patients, they get one go-round of treatment, okay? And that doesn't necessarily mean replacing every tooth in their mouth, but it is quality dentistry. We'll get them pain-free, we'll get them infection-free, we'll get them to where they can look reasonably well and chew reasonably well. And then we give them a list of other places they can go to continue to maintain, just like we go to the dentist every 6 months, hopefully. They can continue the dental schools, the hygiene schools, and so forth. Unfortunately, we can't make the adults their dental home, because they're just such a tremendous need that would be unfair to not let others in and have access to the clinic. So I hope that answers your question. And if you'd like to apply for the dental lottery, you can do so. The number is 602-261-6842. And if you're in need or know someone in need, please do that.
You guys do such incredible work with that dental lottery.
Yes, they do.
And I remember some of my first years at St. Vincent de Paul, we had to change the dental lottery. And I got to tell you a story about my guy, Dr. Snyder here. The first day of every month would be the dental lottery, the first Monday, right? And then we'd have folks line up. They would line up, because we could probably only accept 15 to 30 depending on the month. People would line up the day before, they'd stay overnight in the line,
Oh,
overnight.
really?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, none of us. Number one, I don't care where it is, but particularly just in the area and with the movements in the area. You just don't want to have your kids here, and you don't want to have your family here, and you don't want to be standing around in the middle of the night. But do you know who was here with them at midnight? Do you know who was here making sure they were okay?
Dr. Snyder,
Doc.
is that right?
And I'd come in, 7 or 7:30 that morning, and Doc was here because he didn't leave.
Wow.
And that's
Doc,
we've
give it up.
we've changed how we do that dental lottery.
Wow.
And we do it by phone, we do it by referral, we do it by a lot of different ways. But the way that this guy serves people has not changed.
Wow.
And I just want to honor you for that.
That's a great story. That's a great story.
Hey, and if you're
Doc,
true
I didn't know that.
and if you're true to your teeth,
They won't be false to you.
thanks a lot, everyone.